Our guiding principles: invest in the best, passion for excellence, customers for life, mutual respect, one team.
The goal of this presentation is to educate employees on what emergency conditions are, discuss common emergency conditions in the workplace, and general actions to take to mitigate the risks of emergency conditions. An Emergency Action Plan (EAP) is a structured set of procedures designed to guide employees on how to respond effectively to various emergencies. The primary goal is to ensure the safety and well-being of people, minimize property damage, and facilitate a coordinated response during unforeseen events. An employer must have an emergency action plan whenever an OSHA standard in this part requires one. The requirements in this section apply to each such emergency action plan. An emergency action plan must be in writing, kept in the workplace, and available for employees to review. When emergency response procedures are known, practiced, and followed in emergency situations, the emergencies will result in fewer injuries and damage to a facility. ALTA's Emergency Action Plan includes information such as on-site emergency personnel names and phone numbers, evacuation routes and evacuation procedures, emergency contact information for local emergency services, key personnel, medical facilities, and external support agencies. Types of emergencies and how to report them. Training and drills. The Safety Department has worked closely with each branch to establish roles and responsibilities for on-site emergency personnel. The on-site emergency personnel list for your specific branch can be found on the second page of the Emergency Action Plan and includes the following: Designated On-Site Emergency Coordinator, Operations Manager, Designated On-Site Backup Emergency Coordinator, Corporate Emergency Coordinator, Area Monitors in the office, shop, and parts area, Assistance to the physically challenged. Please review these emergency contacts with all employees on site. It is important to know the types of emergencies that need be reported by on-site personnel. These types of emergencies are medical, fire, severe weather, bomb threat, chemical spill, extended power loss, train derailment or hazards from neighboring facilities, violent incidents. Please review branch-specific emergency response procedures with all employees. It is critical that essential resources and equipment needed during emergency locations are clearly defined. Fire extinguishers must be located throughout the facility, readily accessible, kept in their designated places, and fully charged and operational. First aid kits must be readily accessible and fully stocked. Emergency exit signs and emergency lighting must be fully operational and inspected on a quarterly basis. Eye wash stations must be inspected on a weekly basis and readily accessible in case of an emergency. Lastly, alarm systems must be up to date and compliant with OSHA standards. It is critical to ensure everyone understands their roles and knows how to execute the plan effectively. Training is provided to employees when the plan is initiated, when employees' required actions and responsibilities change, when there are any changes to the plan, when an employee is first hired. Lastly, OSHA requires refresher training to be conducted annually. Each branch will be required to conduct an emergency response drill on June 10 to familiarize employees with ALTA's emergency action procedures. Summary: an emergency action plan is a written or oral plan outlining steps a workplace will follow in the event of an emergency. It includes procedures for reporting emergencies, evacuating a facility or sheltering in place as appropriate, accounting for all employees, and responding to emergency situations. EAPs also designate employees responsible for rescue, medical, and critical plant operations. Employee training will assure that employers and employees know the procedures and their roles when emergencies strike. Possible emergency situations include medical, fire, power, chemical, and bomb threats. Severe weather and natural disasters such as tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, and blizzards, depending on a facility's geographic location, also need to be addressed. If you have any questions,
please reach out to the safety department at safetyadmin@altg.com.